Hi, I'm Reverend Zach.
I'm Francis.
And welcome to This Movie Was a Hot Dog, a podcast where me and my brother watch a bad movie critically, financially, or otherwise, then we review it, break it down, and tell you what we think. And this week, we watched 1986's, I think. I forgot to write the date down, question mark.
That's when it was.
Terror Vision, directed by Ted Nicoloa, and starring Burt Remsen and Brett Garrett. Brett Garrett, people might know if they're fans of the horror franchise. He was the Bud the Chud in Chud's 2, Bud the Chud.
Never seen this.
Oh, Chud is a great movie. Chuds, cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers. It's about homeless people in New York City that get mutated because they, eat a bunch of toxic waste. And then Daniel Stern wears a dirty T-shirt and has to kill them. It's pretty good.
I'll put it on my list.
It's a much better movie than this movie.
It wasn't so, it's a bad movie, this one here, but it's not so much, I didn't want to say bad, it's just weird. It
is weird. It was really hard to figure out how I felt about it before, during, and after, because it's not, it's got a monster in it, and it's a goofy 80s movie, so I'm cool with that, but then at the same time, it's what is this movie about, though?
Well, there's obviously the monster in it, which we'll talk about in a minute.
But there's a lot of downtime.
A lot of downtime, and the family is just, let's take every stereotype we can from the 80s, I think.
No. These were not stereotypes. Maybe
overplay
the outfits,
them, I guess I was going to say.
Maybe the outfits and the way people were talking, but how everybody had, naked Roman statues and indoor jacuzzis where they had swinger parties. That was not an 80s thing.
Oh, really?
At least, I don't know. You were alive before me. You tell me.
I'll write that down. No swinger parties in the 80s. Okay.
I'm doing a report later. Not for school, just for myself.
Don't say it to anyone.
At anyone?
To anyone? That never happened. Okay.
No, I like that you're not telling them as an interesting fact. Hey, do you know there are a lot of swinger? You're telling it at them. You're yelling at. Anyway, man, we do not want to talk about Terror Vision.
Yeah, well, I guess we better get to it since that's what this episode will be entitled.
So, why don't you take us to where it begins?
Planet Pluton. That is where this one begins, this is just a model set in space.
The Planet Pluton Sanitation Department, Mutant Creature Disposal Unit.
Very specific.
It is.
I didn't go that much into detail in my notes. Wow.
Well, I wrote that because I was man, we're not only getting the planet, we're getting the government office, and we're getting the section of that government office. I'm surprised we didn't get the guy's room number and his name.
This is
because we do. The next scene is just a alien government worker doing his job.
Oh yes, Mr. Blue Blook, or whatever his name is.
and you're right. This set looks like a sixth grader's model project.
And the only thing I can think from this scene is that there's a monster in a containment area, and they fry him, and it starts a ping pong laser. That's what I got out of the scene. Obviously, that's not what happened, but.
Well, could you explain that so people who have never seen this movie and are trying to visualize it in their brain have any idea what you're talking about?
I was just going to before you interrupted.
That didn't sound like you were.
Well, you stopped me. How could I possibly go? Anyway, so, yeah, there's a big monster that's kind of disgusting in this chamber.
Yeah, but when he puts it in the chamber, it's only the size of a pumpkin.
I wasn't thinking that much into it.
I'm not...
What? I was more interested in the nastiness of the monster.
Okay.
What?
Nothing, continue.
And there's an explosion in the chamber.
Are you asking me? You telling me?
I'm telling. And then it shows a ping pong laser going off a bunch of planets.
Okay, I'll explain it a little bit better than you did. So this guy takes this alien, he crams it into this little thing, and he does a bunch of buttons and doodads, and a laser hits it and turns it into electricity, And outside on the 6th grade model set, like a giant alien laser satellite dish shoots this alien that is now turned into cartoon lightning, and it bounces off these planets in space as if it is in a pinball machine, and then it lightnings towards the screen, and then a terrible song plays while the title shows up.
That'll do it. Thank you very much, Ray.
It was better than what you said.
Yes, and the credits are really long, very long.
Yeah, I didn't even watch the credits. Then people show we're in like now a 80s suburban home, and within 45 seconds of humans being on screen, this is the single most 80s thing I have ever seen in my life.
Yes, and the visuals are just stunning, aren't they? I
mean, like nobody's home was really like this, right?
No, well, so let's see. Let's try to pick some things out of the home. You say Oh, that doesn't come till later though, so we don't want to ruin that for later.
Let's go by characters. So we got the daughter. She is the 80s personified. She's like 80s Jesus.
Teen.
Teen daughter, hair out of control. Big, lots of colors. She's wearing those lace gloves that Madonna had. She's wearing a big poof skirt. All she talks about is MTV, and she talks like a valley girl. Like everything she says is like, what's going on here? Totally.
Yep, and then the dad is
played by Brett Garrett.
I can't even he's just like strange. He's
not. I don't think he's 80s. Brett Garrett plays over the top characters. So this guy's in like a khaki onesie.
That's what I said. I couldn't figure this out.
He's in like a khaki onesie with like a blue ascot. And
ascot.
An ascot. That's like what Fred on Scooby-Doo wore. Just like a little handkerchief to tie around your neck.
Yes. Okay.
He's wearing like a blue polka dotted ascot, and he has just bought a satellite TV dish, which I guess was new at the time. But he bought the model that you build from scratch yourself.
I remember those days.
While
not really though.
While the satellite TV guy stands there and watches him put it together, and he's like, "Hey, you could help me put this together." And the guy's standing there drinking a Heineken. This is also a Heineken commercial because, like, they drink like 30 Heinekens in this movie.
Yep.
And he's like, "Well, sorry, Mr. Putterson?
Putterbean?
It's not Putterbean?
Putterbung?
I think Putterbung. Yeah, Francis, it's Putterbung.
I'm
sorry, Mr. Putterbung. I can't help you.
Name.
I'm pretty sure it's Putterson. It's not Putterbung. I'm sorry, Mr. Putterbung. I can't help you. You bought the one you got to put yourself together. But I guess I'll just stand here and watch you do it.
And drink your beer.
Multiple of them.
And and he's, of course, not doing it correctly.
Yeah, because he's a wacky 80s dad. The mom is doing a Jane Fonda workout tape. She's in like, a skin-tight leotard and very 80s getup. The grandpa is a crazy World War II vet and survivalist who eats lizard tails.
I like he's my favorite character.
Too bad he dies so fast.
Spoiler alert.
And then there's a little brother who is playing. He wants to be in the army, and he's just a little kid. Fortunately, he's not nearly as weird as everybody else. But other than that, it's pretty 80s.
Yeah, and the sets are just really kind of like a weird haze over them too.
Well, even everything is a set. Brett Garrett's outside putting a satellite TV together, and all behind him is just one shade of blue. And you can see his shadow on the sky.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Oh, because they're standing in front of a wall.
Oh, I didn't even look.
They're not outside. There's no ambient noise. There's no breeze. There's no wind. They are in a building while they're pretending to be outside.
Now the laser comes from outer space.
No.
That's what I have down.
Well, there's a part I want to get to.
Okay.
So while setting up the satellite, the younger brother is sneaking around with a toy gun and pretends to shoot the dad and the grandpa. He goes like, bang, bang. Then the grandpa pulls out a real gun and points it at the child and just says, bang. And the dad's only reaction to this is, will you two stop making noise?
Yeah, like, don't point a real gun at my son.
Yeah, can you not point a real loaded gun at my son, please?
You psycho.
Nope, he's just like, I got my ascot on over here, and I'm trying to build a satellite TV dish from nuts and bolts.
And they are so excited about this TV.
Oh, yeah, this TV is a big deal, which I guess is true, because that's right around the time where cable first came out, so that was a big deal, right?
Yeah, but wait till you hear about what's on the TV later.
Or just the
lack
TVs
thereof.
they use.
Oh, the TVs they use, yes. But back to the matter at hand. The laser finally comes from outer space.
Yeah, the cartoon lightning comes out of the sky and hits the dish. When the lightning hits the satellite dish, it suddenly works, and they all go inside to watch their brand new satellite TV, the satellite cable on their 11-inch screen.
And to make it work, you just pound as hard as you can and toggle as much as you can on the controller.
Well, this controller is also a giant Nintendo Power Pad looking piece of shit.
Well, it's not that big. I mean,
well, it's huge. It has to sit. They have to hold it with two hands.
Think of it. It's like the size of like an arcade joystick console part, like the part of an arcade, like the joystick.
But not sitting on anything. It's in their hands.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And
they're just holding it.
And it doesn't just have like volume on off. It's got like dials and rotors and like digital phone pads, and there's like a big wire coming out of it. This thing is enormous. Also, it did bother me that they're like, great, we have a satellite dish that I'm assuming cost the half price of a car, and they're all gathered around this tiny 12-inch monitor that is also about 50 yards from their couch.
Well, and that kind of surprises me because back in the day, most TVs back then were in huge cabinets on the ground.
Well, I mean, it is a big TV, but the screen is so tiny.
Yeah.
And it was like, are we trying to say something about cable? Is this movie trying to have a message? I abandoned that thought because later on it becomes very evident that they do not.
And then when they want to watch like black and white horror movies.
It's so weird because every time Brett Garrett changes a channel on this thing, he has to punch in a new code and then on this giant pad, and then the satellite dish readjusts outside, implying that every channel has its own satellite in space.
But
why else would it have to readjust every time he changes the channel?
They added that somehow. That was added time to this movie, which didn't need to be added as well.
No. So then the satellite dish that's been working for, a minute and a half, like spurts out electricity, and a bunch of alien goop also comes out of it.
Outside. Yeah, outside. Yeah, not in.
So they're like, oh no, Dad, you screwed it up. And he's like, well, I'm so wacky for some reason. And then the daughter brings in her new boyfriend.
And then I have in my notes, this can't get any worse.
Why don't you tell us about
He's just the typical, like, I don't know, what's the word?
He's not typical anything.
No, he's
this is a cartoon character.
Yes, he's just supposed he's like, hey, dude, or like...
No, he's not even... you're making him sound like he's like a hippie. He comes in, and he's got like a leather vest on, and big hair and like studs all over his arms, and he's like, hey man, nice house, I'm gonna go fuck your daughter in my car. Van Halen rules, or whatever. Or whatever.
Yeah, and then when he talks to the parents, he's like, hello.
No, he doesn't.
I thought he was. Well, he calms it down a little bit.
No, he doesn't.
All right.
He does not. And they're looking at him, and they're like, ooh, he's wearing rings. What a weirdo.
Yeah, now, of course. Yeah, big.
He's got a bunch of rings on, and they're like, a man wearing rings. Buh. So everyone, basically, at this point, like, it's starting to get going. Everybody splits up.
The parents,
the daughter...
Yeah, the daughter's going to go out with the boyfriend.
Whose name is O.D. The letter O and the letter D. I think that's supposed to be a joke about something. I don't know.
Maybe something. I don't know.
And the wife and Brett Garrett are going to go on a date. That seems innocent enough at this point. And they just go. And we're like, okay, so now Grandpa and
the
little boy, the little boy are going to watch monster movies on the new satellite TV.
Hosted by Medusa.
Hosted by this Elvira, Mistress of the Dark-ish knockoff chick who is just like a cleavagey Medusa. Literally, on the TV show they're watching that this woman is hosting, as it's going to commercial, the entire screen is just filled with her boobs. They just focus in on her boobs, and then it goes to commercial.
And Grandpa's like, this is good programming.
And then they fall asleep, and while they fall asleep, this alien starts to come out of the TV.
The one that was in the original scene of the movie, the first.
Right,
yeah.
But now we get like a real good look at it.
Yeah.
And it's about the size of a BMW Beetle. It's huge. It's enormous.
A big monster.
Thank God each of the rooms in this house is like half the size of a football field because this thing could not fit in any other way. It's got like tentacles and pincers and eyes on tentacles
and a mouth on a bunch of the tentacles, I think.
And a mouth on a bunch of tentacles and the main mouth has a bunch of teeth, and it's one of those aliens that's like constantly drippy.
Ugh.
It's always goopy and shit like that.
It made me kind of gross out a little bit.
So they're like, oh, what was that? And he's like, it was an alien. It was an alien. And the grandpa's like, no, it wasn't. It was a burglar. Quick, let's go into my underground bunker built into the house and get guns.
So wait,
here, little boy, here's a gun.
Well, and then what does he say? It's a burglar wearing a Halloween mask.
I missed that.
That's why it looked so weird.
So they get a bunch of guns, and the salesman from earlier came by to do repairs on the satellite that broke, apparently as soon as he left. They threaten him. Then the boy and the grandpa go around the house.
Split up.
And they split up. That's where we start to see the house.
What? Are you going to be okay?
First of all...
yes, we got our first visuals of inside the house, yeah.
First of all, is Brett Garrett a multimillionaire? Because this house is enormous.
Yeah, like you said, each room is size of a football field.
And not only is each room huge, they have an indoor heated pool, like apparently several TVs, because we have to break all of them later. They have like 5 to 8 TVs. They have an indoor fallout shelter, and they have these Roman statues, each one of which is a fountain. If the statue is a woman, her nipples are spewing water for this fountain. And when they're walking around, the boy and the grandpa, the boy is looking at all of these statues as if he's never seen them before.
Yeah, like, he's like, when did we get this?
Well, he looks at each one and points the gun at it nervously, like, has he never been in the front of the house? Because all of those statues are in the foyer. And they're in the doorway.
And what's up with all the pictures?
Yeah, there's pictures of naked women. I don't know if you saw this at one point. There is a picture of like a woman's hair on her head, but instead of a head, it's just boobs.
3 of them, yeah, 3 boobs.
Yeah, what was that?
Fine art.
And like, there's also a lot of like bright fluorescent colors and like jagged triangles. Like every wall has like black triangles on it.
I missed that. I was busy looking at the other stuff.
You were busy looking at the 3 boobs.
Yeah, that caught my eye.
Yeah, weird. So while they're doing that, the monster eats the repairman.
Yeah.
Then just immediately after that, the monster attacks the grandpa by biting him with these pincers that turn him into sludge, and then he eats the grandpa and then zaps himself back into the TV. And at that point, I went like, oh boy, what is this about?
Okay, at this point, I was like, it's okay.
It gets so
this could turn around. I was like, this could turn around. This could be okay.
Right, and then the next thing happens.
Yes.
So the mom and dad come home with friends.
Yes, real friends.
2 friends, simple enough. And they're attempting to convince these 2 people to have a 4-way with them.
Swinging. They're going to swing.
They're going to swing. The it's another husband and wife. The guy is this Spanish dude who's doing like a really bad Ricardo Montalban impression.
Okay.
And then the woman they bring is the actress who played the wife of the owner of Buster Burger in Hamburger the Motion Picture.
It's all come full circle at this point for us,
It
folks.
has, and because I'm looking for any excuse to play it, here's the song again.
America, you're getting burger hungry, hungry for the burger that makes you full. You're chomping for the taste of a Buster Burger, our famous Buster Burger that's full of hope. Thick, rich shakes, crispy French fries, our double big Buster like full and satisfies.
Because I'll always look for an excuse to play that song. For context of what the hell that just was, see episode.
Sorry.
See episode 28 for Hamburger the Motion Picture. And she's just playing some dumb blonde in this. No one, the son comes out and he's like, Grandpa just got sucked into a giant monster head and then zapped into the TV. And also, the monster is constantly zapping into rooms. Even if nobody's in that room, and even us seeing him zap into that room has nothing to do with the rest of the movie.
He's somewhere.
He's just like zap, and he's in this room, and then it just cuts away, and we're like, why did we see that?
He's moving, and there's no point, like you said. He's like, there he is in the TV. Who cares?
So Brett Garrett, trying to seduce these two people, shows him his inside pool / jacuzzi, and that's where I was like, what the fuck does he do for a living? Is he a billionaire?
Yeah, it's a full-size pool. But it's a full-size jacuzzi, like a pool that the whole thing is a jacuzzi.
So the alien zaps its way into the fallout shelter,
right.
And the mom's like, you had a dream, little kid. There's no alien. Grandpa's fine. So the alien mutates its tongue to look like Grandpa's head.
Right.
Then sticks Grandpa's drippy, slimy head around the corner and does a perfect impression of Grandpa going, I'm fine, daughter. Nothing's wrong. Everything's great. And she's like, see, your Grandpa's just covered in weird slime and he's wearing a blanket for some reason. Everything's fine.
That's what, you'd think like the mom would be like, are you all right? You know?
Or like, what's all over your face?
Do you need to go to the doctor? Anything.
Are you cold? Why are you wrapped in a blanket? Why don't you come out from behind that corner? This is weird.
And she just basically locks the kid in the bunker.
Not basically. She throws him in there and then locks him in.
Making sure to throw the gun in with him.
But just throwing a loaded gun. But instead of the alien, trying to kill him, the alien just zaps out of the room, and that kid just sort of hangs out there for like an hour of the movie. So the mom and dad are respectively trying to fuck these other two people. And Ricardo Montalban is basically trying to talk his way into fucking Brett Garrett in the butt.
Yes, yeah, he's like, how does he put it is he manly?
Yeah, and then he goes like, yeah, he's manly. He goes, no, can he take it like a man? And then it's like, oh, okay. So he wants to fuck Brett Garrett up the ass. Whatever. But then it's like, okay, they're implying it. They're not, saying anything specifically. And then he just goes, oh, no, you misunderstand. I like boys. And I'm like, yeah, man, we got it when you asked if you can fuck the dude up the butt. I got it. You like dudes.
But they make it draw out.
Why do they gotta lay it on so thick?
Oh, boy.
So
the kid's still in the shelter thing.
Yeah, and he's watching TV, and now he's getting a broadcast from the alien on Pluton, who's constantly throughout the movie broadcasting these warnings on TV, trying to tell them that this alien is there and it's going to kill them.
Right, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's just a movie." Click.
Then the kid calls the
Medusa.
Boob Medusa.
Yep. Boob
Medusa. This TV personality tells her about the monster, and she doesn't believe him and hangs up. Then Ricardo Montalban. Oh, so no, I skipped a part. So Brett Garrett's like, a lady from Hamburger the Motion Picture, why don't you get into the jacuzzi and I'll go change? And she's like, okay, blah blah blah. So while they do that, Ricardo Montalban comes in and sees his wife in this jacuzzi, which is now covered in dry ice.
And sludge.
And sludge, and he's like, "Oh, hello there, my wife. Let me go into the pool. Why are you not talking and just moving your head back and forward? That's weird."
Why is your eyes glazed over?
He gets in the pool, and it's not filled with water anymore.
It's the sludginess, yeah.
It's filled with sludge, and he goes, "Oh, must be some kind of a sex lubricant." An entire pool filled with sex lubricant?
Maybe overdoing it a bit.
And he's like, "This doesn't bother me or seem strange at all.
I'm going to go towards you, wife.
Let me wade over to you in a pool full of sex lubricant. I don't know why I'm not being slowed down. It should be a lot harder than this.
Oh, my gosh.
It should be so thick." And he gets over there,
and
it's the alien puppet trick with the person's head on the top.
Trick.
Well, what is it? It's like,
right.
acts like these people's heads are puppets.
Actually, it's a pretty good power. I mean, if it wasn't so, sludgy.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, no, you're a puppet, not my wife. And then the alien kills Ricardo Montalban.
I must have... Okay, good. Yeah, I thought I missed something here. And then the next scene, isn't this just the parents coming into the room now?
Yeah, the parents parents.
And the parents.
Two parents.
Yes, and then they just get killed.
Yeah, they run right in, and Brett Garrett is more upset that, this guy wants to fuck him up the butt. They go to yell at them, and the alien just comes out of the pool and kills them both right away.
No one runs in this movie.
No, because we're in a set, so there's nowhere to run.
I see, yes. Yeah.
It's a tiny little set we have.
Yeah, this is just this room, Can't be going anywhere.
You can't even go outside because there is no outside. So the daughter and her date, O.D., show up just as the younger brother blasts through the bunker door with C4.
I love it.
Literally. The daughter knocks on... He's like, "No, there's an alien. We got to stop him. There's an alien. Sister of mine, I don't remember your character name." And she's like, "You're such a stupid idiot. Let's go talk to Mom and Dad." And so she goes and knocks on the parents' door.
You sound like Toad from the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Okay, I'll do it.
Just relax. Let's go talk to Mom and Dad.
So
don't do that anymore.
So she knocks on Mom and Dad's door, and the alien is in there under the covers, and you're like, "Oh, what is it doing?" And they open the door, and the monster uses its puppet head trick.
For all of them.
To make it look like the mom, the dad, Mrs. Busterburger, Ricardo Montalban, and the grandpa are all in this bed having sex.
The some.
Yeah, it's a quinsome. And then the daughter's reaction is just like, "Ew, gross."
Yeah, all right. Well,
not like,
let's go.
"Why are you fucking grandpa?"
Gosh, don't say that.
Why are you having sex with grandpa?
It makes me uncomfortable. Could you not say it?
She's just like, "See, they're all fine. They're just fucking each other and two strangers in there."
And she's like, "Good. It's weird."
Whatever. And that's where I just wrote, "This movie's weird."
So they run back into I forget what room, what set they run into, and the monster comes out of the TV.
Again.
And now then the monster sees the leather and spikes on the boyfriend's body.
Well, he's got that. OD has that leather strap around his wrist,
right.
And he's attacking it.
They call it?
Yeah, sure, gauntlet. And he's attacking OD.
He gives the monster a flashback.
Yeah, that is not explained. We just have to sort of interpret it. That the monster's former handler who fed him also wore a leather gauntlet.
Right. So now they're friends. They feed him a bunch of movie. They sit down and watch.
They feed him a bunch of movie?
Oh, my God.
They take a VHS and they unspool it, and they feed him a bunch of movie.
They feed him a bunch of food from the kitchen.
Here's a bunch of movie.
Let me finish. They feed him a bunch of food. And then they sit down and watch a movie/TV with the monster that murdered their family.
Well, they just watch, even though it has killed their entire family, including two strangers, they are now friends. Mm-hmm. Like you said, they feed it a bunch of junk food. Then they watch Boob Medusa.
Right.
The kids decide that we're going to call Boob Medusa and get the monster on TV, and as they say, make $1 million even though we live in a $35 million home and appear to be incredibly wealthy already, the police show up to arrest Grandpa for what?
No, they show up to arrest the kid.
Why are they arresting the kid?
He calls the police twice, and they think it's a prank.
Oh, I thought they were killing the grandpa they were arresting the grandpa for hoarding guns.
No. They show up to arrest the kid.
Okay,
yeah, that's what happened.
The monster ends up. The Boob Medusa show ends, even though the Boob Medusa show has been on for hours in this movie.
Maybe it's a marathon.
It's been on for 5 hours, and it ends, and he's like, "Rrr, rrr." And so they're like, chill out, dude, we'll change the channel, blah. And they change it, and then the alien warning broadcast shows up.
And that's a trigger. Now it's a trigger for the monster. He has
now it's a trigger
problem.
And they are no longer friends,
yes.
even though they've been just chilling out. It kills OD. The cop comes inside.
Doesn't call for backup, and then he dies.
Now it's just the sister and the brother hiding in this basement.
And they go and get rifles.
They get guns, and their plan is to go around the house and break all the TVs. And so this alien can't zap in between them anymore, I guess.
Which is not a bad idea.
Also, I don't know for whatever reason, but the sister was acting in this movie, quote unquote, isn't great. But the sister was all right.
Yeah.
Once she and the little kid are the only ones left, she turns it up to high school play overacting. Where she's like, what are we totally gonna do? It's like, whoa, what happened?
Well, they go out with rifles, and then out of nowhere, the alien from the warning shows up in their living room.
No, not yet.
Sorry, this is the part of the movie that it's just.
Well, it's almost done at this point.
Yeah, that's true.
They go to the hot tub room because that's where the last TV is.
Right.
The alien is sitting in the hot tub watching TV. They sneak up on it, but it attacks the kid. He cuts one of its testicles.
You did it too.
One of its tentacles. It would have been better if he cut off one of its testicles. One of its tentacles with a knife. And the daughter throws the TV into this jacuzzi to electrocute it, and they run out of the room. Then, from one of the TVs that they already broke, meaning that this plan was completely pointless, the alien from the broadcasting warning shows up, says that the mutant is called a hungry beast, which is the laziest name I've ever heard for anything.
I'll put that right up there with a list of horrible comic book characters we've discussed before.
And they say that this thing is the equivalent to an earth dog, except that as it grows, it starts to mutate and then is killed and zapped into space before it can take over a planet. And I would argue that that is not the equivalent to an earth dog.
Remember when we did that with our dogs?
Yeah, right? Every time they started to grow a bunch of tentacles and tried to eat the family, we would have to shoot them into space.
Yeah, I mean...
When we did that with Baby.
Yes, that's right. Oh, man.
When Baby became the 300-pound hungry beast.
She had arthritis. That was about it.
Yeah, she had arthritis and peed on the carpet.
All right, so now, for some reason, Medusa shows up at the house?
I guess from when they called her before?
They were like, come to a party or whatever.
No, they're like, we have a monster to put on the TV.
Oh, well, she shows up looking ready for a party.
Well, she doesn't show up looking ready for a party. She shows up in her Boob Medusa outfit. The show's over. She doesn't change her costume.
Oh, okay.
She goes to the house. She has her Medusa hair on.
And
also, I don't know if you noticed this. While they're talking to the alien,
okay,
what?
The neck. Don't forward the story anymore because my favorite part's coming up.
No, we're not forwarding the story.
I want to say the next part because.
Okay, Jesus Christ. So the alien's talking. Mm-hmm. He's like something, something, something. A warning. He's all glistening and he's got really pointy ears and he's got this weird jaw where you can sort of see his human face. Then the kids say something. Then when they cut back to the alien, he has completely different makeup on.
I guess that was they had the end of the day in the middle of that scene. Come back.
It's just 15 seconds. He says something, blah, blah, blah. They cut back to him. And I'm sitting there watching it, and I went, wait a minute. How did nobody notice that? He has a completely different face. It's the same guy in the same room in the same scene,
Why-
and he looks totally different.
Why are you trying to ruin a perfectly good movie?
Oh, yeah, it's perfect.
Okay, so Medusa comes into the house and just kills the alien helper. That's my favorite part of the movie.
She picks up this alien's like, I got some blaster gun. I'm going to kill it, blah, blah, blah. Boob Medusa picks up a lamp and hits it on the head and kills it.
Just so out of left field. I was like,
why
what?
is she even in this movie?
That monster comes in like some vortex or something. I don't.
Yeah, all of a sudden now it's got powers.
Yeah.
Something. This wall comes down. It's it's like in the wall, even though it's the size of a car. And there's this wind that is sucking them towards it. That's a power that it has not had before.
You know, the negative plane shift power that it somehow.
The kid tries to shoot it with the alien gun, which you think is how it's going to end.
Right.
But then no, they all get sucked into the alien
and
it eats, and all of them die. The end.
That's the end of the movie.
That's the end of the movie. The alien eats them all, and it's over. What?
I guess that's a wrap.
What? What?
Happy ending there.
This movie is so between some guy trying to proposition a fuck Brett Garrett to Boob Medusa to to the alien zapping through the TV and having magic powers, and then the ending, and then this house is huge, and
I don't know. I had a hard time with it.
And I'm pretty sure that this is a cult movie. Like I told you, we were trying to find a movie. I had heard of this, and I was like, oh, why don't we just do that? I had no idea what it was about, and I still don't.
No, there's no... It's like a monster movie like that takes place within some sort of weird porno house.
And I think it's supposed to be like a horror comedy. And there are jokes. There are like 80s jokes.
Yeah.
One which was like an honest-to-God little chuckle to me when the daughter's like, hey, I brought my new boyfriend. And the mom's like, oh, what's this one's name? And she's like, it's O.D. And the Brett Garrett goes, oh, an Irish boy? It's a stupid joke, but it made me laugh. And there are little jokes like that. But then there are jokes where it's like, was this funny then, or is this funny now because of the 80s-ness of it?
I don't know. I didn't find too much of the movie that funny at all.
Well, I mean, it wasn't like I was sitting in my chair, like, holding my belly because I was laughing. It was sort of funny in, like, a cosmic sort of way.
Right. Well, just overall, this movie is just weird. That's the only thing I got to say about it.
Well, I guess, right, so I guess we'll go into reviews. So... yeah, it's weird. It's all over the place. Like, it's not hard to follow. It's a very easy to follow movie, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because you can follow it easy, it leaves you with so many questions. Like, why are we doing this? What's happening? Why is this house so big? Why is Brett Garrett this way? And just to remind you, Francis, our new reviewing system, you hate it. Good party movie, or I didn't hate it. And I didn't. It wasn't that it's not that I didn't hate it, and I didn't hate it, if that makes any sense. And it's not a good party movie. I almost want to like add a caveat to like good party movie / hangover film.
That's very specific.
Well, it's not a good party movie because it's not a movie where you can talk and jerk around and then look at it and see some action and talk about stuff or joke about it or talk over it even. It's like a movie where if you did that, you'd look at the screen and be like, what's going on? Why are they all fucking in bed? Isn't that the grandpa?
So what's your rating?
I'm gonna create my new caveat where like now there's 3.5 ratings. I'm gonna call it it's a good hangover movie.
Oh, well.
If it's a Sunday and you had a very fun Saturday night and you're just waiting for Monday to show up and you're just laying on the couch, you could probably put this on. You're okay. Because I liked it, but it wasn't great. So I'm gonna say it's a good hangover movie.
I see. Well, I'm going to go with I did not hate it.
Okay, yeah, I could see you not hating it.
I didn't hate it. I was confused. and just tried to figure it out the whole time. But it wasn't so bad to the point where I was like, oh my gosh, please stop. You know what I mean?
I will say I was never bored.
No, oh yeah, the movie goes. I mean, there's definitely stuff going on all the time.
And there's enough, even when it's like there's not an alien involved, there's enough stuff to be like, well, this is keeping my interest at least, because what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, that's what I like. I mean, and I can't even say I don't even know what to recommend.
I guess I'm gonna kind of recommend this.
Yeah, it's definitely one of a kind.
Yeah, it's it's a movie that honestly the only way I can describe it is like you have to see it to really grasp like what's going on here.
Yeah, you should again. What do we say? It's all on YouTube. You can go watch this movie. Do we put a link in there, or how does that work?
No, because I'm not entirely sure that that's legal or it's okay for us to say that.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
If you want to do your own research,
yes, you might find it in a place where there are videos available.
But yeah. So you got anything else?
I got nothing.
All right, so if you want to send us questions, comments, concerns, or hate mail... Oh, wait a minute! We got a thing to say. I just thought of a thing that's got to be said,
You got a
and
thing?
here I go. I'm about to say it. We figured out how to make that goddamn YouTube channel we threatened about last week.
Mm-hmm. Is it up?
Well, I mean, like, it's there. By the time this comes out, there'll be things on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if you want, but I don't remember what the name is, and I didn't put that in my notes because that would have been proactive. So
we'll put it in the description, maybe.
And I'll put it in right here. Zach Hot Dog, ZACH space HOTDOG. There's nothing on there right now, but we will get stuff up there. That thing I just said is where you can find it.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Yeah, if you want to subscribe on YouTube and catch it that way, because I know some people, it's easier for them to stream that at work or on their computer or whatever. But all our regular plugs, questions, comments, concerns, or hate mail. We love hate mail. You can send those to us at moviehotdog@gmail.com. We have a Twitter at moviehotdog. You can follow us on Facebook at This Movie Was a Hot Dog. If you get this on iTunes or if you get it on Podomatic, please rate, review, and subscribe. That really helps, and it'll help the show get better and all that shit. Other than that, I'm done talking.
Well,
are you?
And if you're a new listener on YouTube, be sure to check out all our other files as well.
Yeah, good. You really sold it there.
Yeah. No, if this is your first episode with us, there are many more episodes in our collection. We hope you listen to them. Thank you so much.
All right, why don't you sign us out?
Well, this is Francis, and for Reverend Zach, this movie was a hot dog.